All right, hello everyone. This is Miss Turner, and today I'm going to be talking to you about using the rules for adding integers. Now remember, integers are positive and negative numbers. Negative numbers are less than 0. Positive numbers are greater than 0. Okay, so it says adding integers. You have learned how to add integers with the same signs and how to add integers with different signs. The way that we learned, we used our two color counters. So we used dang. So we used red counters. Oh, it's not going to let me type on this. Yeah, left to back. Why isn't my pen working now, though? Okay, so how we represented adding and subtracting integers was we used our two color counters. Remember, the red counter is equal to -1, and the yellow is equal to a +1. Okay, and when we have a red and yellow counter together, this is called a 0 pair. Okay, and we can remove those. That's when we're adding integers. Okay, the table below summarizes the rules for adding integers. So when we don't have access to number lines or counters, we can remember these rules. Very, very simple rules to remember. Same signs, add the absolute values of the integers. You use the common sign for the sum. So examples, normal, 3 plus 3, or 3 plus 5 equals 8. Okay, what if we had two negatives? -2 plus -7, well, add and keep the sign. So 2 plus 7 is 9, and my sign is negative, so my answer or my sum is going to be -9. Now when I have different signs, it says subtract the absolute value from the greatest absolute value. Now remember, absolute value is just the distance from 0. So a simpler way to remember that is subtract and keep the sign of the largest number. So let's look at examples so we can understand these rules better. Let me not forget, the last one, it says a number and its opposite. So the sum is 0. The opposite of any number is called its additive inverse. For example, 4 plus -4 equals 0. So our 0 pair, that is a number and its opposite. 1 plus -1 equals 0, 0 pair. That is also called the additive inverse. So let's look at example 1. It wants me to find each sum. So A is -11 plus 6. So these are different signs. So I'm going to look at my different sign rules. Okay, subtract the lesser absolute value from the greater absolute value. Use the sign of the integer with the greater absolute value for the sum. So my largest number is negative. So that means my sum is going to be a negative number. If my largest number was a positive, my answer would be positive. But since it's negative, my answer is going to be a negative. Now let me not struggle and draw this negative sign. Okay, and remember, I have to subtract. So I'm going to subtract and take the sign of the largest number. So 11 minus 6 is 5, and the sign of the largest number is negative. Okay, I'm going to do another example. Number 8 down here says 10 plus -18. So they're different signs. They're DS, different signs. So I'm going to subtract. I'm going to do 18 minus 10 equals 8. And I'm going to keep the sign of the largest number. My largest number for this equation is negative 18. So my sum is going to be a negative number. Same sign add, different sign subtract. That's for adding integers. I'm also going to show you this awesome video on YouTube that it's a great song, it's catchy, and you'll remember it. It helps you remember the rules. Okay? Oops. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me on Schoolology.